जनाब आज फाइनली पाकिस्तान वर्ल्ड कप से बाहर हो गया है। आज पाकिस्तान ने बेगैरत बाबर आजम की कैप्टनसी में अपना ये मिजरेबल वर्ल्ड कप कैंपेन अपने इख्तितामी मरहले पर जो है वो पहुंचा दिया है। और पहले ही पाकिस्तान जो है वो अभी 3 मैच अभी और पाकिस्तान के पड़े हुए हैं, मतलब और अभी हैं, मेरा ख्याल है अभी 3 मैच और हैं। 6 मैच आज पाकिस्तान ने खेल लिए हैं। पाकिस्तान वर्ल्ड कप से बाहर हो गया है साउथ अफ्रीका से हारने के बाद। तो कोई अगर थोड़ी बहुत उम्मीदें भी थी कि चलो पाकिस्तान सेमीफाइनल में तो क्वालिफाई नहीं करता, लेकिन चलो अच्छी गेम का मुजाहरा तो कर दे, आखिरी मैच तक फिर जाकर पता लगे कि अच्छा ये आखिरी मैच में पाकिस्तान वर्ल्ड कप से बाहर हुआ है। नहीं, वो पहले ही हमें पता लग गया है कि अब वो पाकिस्तान, अब वर्ल्ड कप का कैंपेन ख़त्म। तो एक अजीब फीका फीका सा जो है ना, ये वर्ल्ड कप अब आगे है पाकिस्तान के लिए। अब कोई टीम बुरा परफॉर्म करे उधर तो कोई अब मेजर अपसेट हो जाए तो हो जाए, वरना तो नहीं। और अपसेट अब नहीं होता, ठीक है, हर बार अपसेट्स नहीं जो है वो आपको आगे लेके जाते। ठीक है, अपसेट जो है वो आज अगर पाकिस्तान साउथ अफ्रीका को हरा देता तो ये एक अपसेट था। बहरहाल I'll translate. So today marks with the defeat that Pakistan took from South Africa. It marks the end of the World Cup campaign, the official World Cup campaign of Pakistan. And Pakistan has today, this early, been routed out of the World Cup already. Obviously, under the pathetic captaincy of Babar Azam, this was what was definitely expected, because he was very adamant on his team members. And for a Pakistani cricket fan, it was more than understood. You know, a Pakistani cricket fan, a passionate Pakistani cricket fan who loves cricket. I just love the sport. I just love cricket. You know, so for a passionate Pakistani cricket fan, it was more than understood that we possibly wanted. We obviously knew that Pakistan is not going to qualify for the semi-finals. We knew that. You know, this team, this Pakistan team is not going to qualify for the semi-finals. But it was perhaps a bit too early for Pakistan to exit from the World Cup. You know, you just have to give the devil a bit of its due share. You know, just consider the devil. Consider the devil. The devil is Pakistan. So just spare a thought for the devil. Spare a thought for Pakistan. It's perhaps a bit too early for Pakistan to exit from an event such as this, which is the World Cup. It's a big event. Without Pakistan, I'm sure audiences throughout the world would understand and they would agree with the fact that Pakistan does contribute a lot of excitement to the event, to the game of sport. I'm not trying to rub in the fact whatever Pakistan has contributed to the sport and whatever, you know, the achievements of Pakistan as a cricketing nation. I'm not trying to rub all of that in. What I'm definitely trying to say, and that is actually not even relevant, to say that Pakistan contributed this much to the sport, so, you know, at least Pakistan has the right to stay into the tournament. Well, England started cricket in the first place. It's the national sport. Cricket is England's national sport. And look how they're playing in this World Cup. This does not call, you know, justice has not been served as far as cricketing what should I say? I mean, I am actually out of words over here. But as far as cricketing merits are concerned, you would always want to see England perform in a tournament such as this, which is the World Cup. But England has failed miserably. So fine, Pakistan has failed. It's not going through. This definitely does not mean that it is a representation of cricket in our country, you know, the talent in our country, but it is just a representation of favoritism, nepotism, and friendships that have been honored in the place of merit. That is, you know, summing it up, these are the reasons why Pakistan has played so miserably and ended up in such a miserable campaign for its World Cup tour this year. As I've already mentioned, that it's a bit too early for Pakistan to exit from you know, a tournament like the World Cup, and one would have definitely expected Pakistan to perhaps win today's game. Obviously, I thought Pakistan is not going to win. Deep down inside, I had a gut feeling that Pakistan is not going to win. My heart said yes, Pakistan should win. My mind said Pakistan will not win, obviously, because you have to be insane if you're going to bet on Pakistan. If a game between the top performing sides of the tournament like South Africa is playing against Pakistan and you're going to bet on Pakistan, given the kind of performance that Pakistan has given in retrospect, in hindsight, if you take a look at Pakistan's performance against Afghanistan, against Australia, how Pakistan miserably lost the game against India, the way Pakistan has performed in this World Cup. So you would definitely assume you would never ever bet on Pakistan, even if you were a passionate Pakistan cricket fan, unless and until you don't have any cricketing knowledge, unless and until you do not put logic on the table whenever you are talking about even a sport like cricket for that matter. You have to keep logic into the equation. And logic entailed that Pakistan is going to lose today's match, which is going to be against South Africa. South Africa was a much more stronger side. They were going strong. They were in motion. Fine, they choked against Netherlands, no problem. I mean, even if they lost against the Netherlands, it really does not matter. It really doesn't make a difference to them because they're at the top of the table after defeating Pakistan. And the way they defeated Pakistan was clearly, the fact that they were going so well, they were cruising towards the target. Habitually, they do have a tendency to choke whenever they chase. However, this time around, they managed to cling on. Courtesy to a few bad bowls that were bowled by Pakistani bowlers. I would like to blame Pakistani bowlers for this. Yes. And my mind boggles as to, whenever I listen to commentary from the likes of Waqar Yunus, what a pathetic commentator he really is. Who says that, full marks to Pakistani bowlers for bowling such accuracy and, bringing the game back to life once again. Oh, come on, man. Full marks to Pakistani bowlers. They're bowling wides. They're giving away singles. Pathetic bad captaincy on part of Babar Azam, who's allowing all those singles to take place when you've got 20 runs to get or 50 balls. What are you going to do? Bring the field up close. You need to make sure that you're not giving much gaps to the batsmen so that they don't easily sway away those singles so conveniently. And perhaps on those peculiar spots place your fielders for catching positions. Because that is where you are tempting the batsman to hit and you already have a fielder placed at a peculiar position. Say like, an awkward position like deep extra cover for that matter. Yes, you can. Or perhaps a person who's basically placed at deep point. He's going to run all through the way to extra cover and if a batsman is going to play that shot. Because, something like that. Perhaps bowling on the offside and keeping a person deep mid-wicket. And putting the fielders up close like this. Everybody is supposed to be in the circle to save those singles. You're supposed to do that. If you're not doing that, then you're giving away those singles. And what about those wides that Wasim Jr. was bowling? What about those outswingers that Shaheen Shah Afridi is trying to bowl to tail-enders in order to get them out? When all he should be doing is to bowl those balls in the block hole. Yorkers. Where are those Yorkers at will by Shaheen Shah Afridi, Haris Rauf and all these extra spaces that Pakistan supposedly has? Where are those Yorkers? What happened to your Yorkers? I mean, here's a guy, Waqar Yunus, who's saying full marks to Pakistani bowlers. Oh, come on, man. Full marks, a person like you is saying that. Pathetic commentary done by Waqar Yunus. Waqar Yunus is the most pointless and pathetic commentators that you can ever come across. I mean, at least you should analyze the game accordingly. These bowlers of Pakistan have lost the capability to bowl in the block hole. They have not been able to get those lousy tail-enders out. They are tail-enders. Makram got out. That stupid shot that he played. Loose shot. Literally gave away his wicket. Babar luckily was placed at that fielding position where he got the catch. And after that, the game kind of changed. Coatsay, Shaheen Shah Afridi, outswinger. Coatsay can bat, by the way. Okay, that ball I can accept. But when it comes after Coatsay got out, the tail was completely exposed. The tail was completely exposed. Now all you need to do is keep the ball within the wickets and get those batsmen out within the wickets. Just bowl those Yorkers. Just bowl those Yorkers, bowl those balls in the block hole. This is how you just need to figure out a way to get these batsmen out. Waqar Yunus himself, Wasim Akram himself, they used to bowl Yorkers at will. What has happened to these Pakistani bowlers? They have lost that capability altogether. And this was the major underlining reason that a close game like this, Pakistan coming this close, a do or die situation, 20 runs required or 21 runs required, the main batsman all gone, tail fully exposed, you've got your pace attack on, 50 balls, 21 runs required. The ball is even reverse swinging. What's more, the ball is even reverse swinging. I remember a match in which Abdur Razak was bowling in Sri Lanka. It was Pakistan up against Sri Lanka in Sharjah in the year 2000 somewhere. Sri Lanka were comfortable. They needed around 15 to 20 runs to win, and they had 5 wickets in hand. Abdur Razak comes in. A few hiccups, 1 run out, 4 wickets taken by Abdur Razak, all as a result of the reverse swing capability that Abdur Razak had. And he got all of those 4 wickets out. Pakistan won that match because those bowlers probably had the kind of weight. They had that caliber. The cricketers, Pakistani bowlers in the past, although of the same pace as the bowlers that we have today, had the required amount of class within themselves in order to exercise their potential at the international level. These bowlers of Pakistan in the current time, in the contemporary time, although having the same kind of pace that Wasim, Waqar, or not Shoaib Akhtar for that matter, but they are express bowlers, fine, they can do 140 plus, with the exception to of course Shaheen Shah Afridi, who's not been able to bowl above 140 in this entire match today. His ball did not even cross 135 kilometers per hour today. Or I think maybe 2 or 3 balls I could see in the speedometer that they were going to 137 or 138 kilometers per hour, but that's just it. Majority of his balls were between 130 and 135. What has happened to him? I mean, after this World Cup, there's a tour of Australia coming up. What is he going to do over there? A bowler within the speed of 130 to 135, unless and until has the accuracy and the line and length and control and bounce of Glenn McGrath. If he has a pace of 130 to 135, he would not be successful in Australia. In Australia, you definitely need 140 plus in order to get anything out of those wickets, because you need pace in Australia, unless and until you are Terry Alderman or Glenn McGrath. These are bowlers who used to bowl at a consistent pace between 130 135, occasionally going above 135, but then of course they have world class accuracy and line and length and bounce and the capability to take wickets at any point of time, all by virtue of 2 or 3 weapons that they would possess. And that would be line and length, bounce, no extraordinary swing, no rocket science that's supposed to be employed. But these Pakistanis, they are basically the exponents of reverse swing bowling. They've literally inherited this reverse swing art. They're supposed to be very good at it. Every other Pakistani kid knows how to reverse swing in domestic cricket. They were not able to come up with bowls that were wicket taking to the tail-enders. They couldn't dismiss the tail-enders. Overall, I think that Pakistan lost this match as a result of, many people are actually commending Babar Azam's captaincy today. And I believe that Babar Azam, although they are saying that Babar Azam's captaincy was okay, it was satisfactory, I don't think it was satisfactory at all. The reason why those singles were being made by the South African tail-enders was because Babar Azam was allowing them to make those singles. Nudge the ball here, nudge the ball there. They could see gaps between which they could run for a single, get an easy bye here. And then on top of that, Wasim Jr. is bowling wides. Haris Rauf is bowling wides. I mean, these 2 bowlers, other than Shaheen Shah Afridi, is struggling a bit because he just underwent a surgery. He just underwent an injury and he's basically facing a tough time. So you can't expect Shaheen Shah Afridi to come in and, bangs. He's not the same bowler as he once used to be, like before his injury time. Of course, as I've already said, that he's not. For the first time, we saw Shaheen Shah Afridi in 2022, the T20 World Cup of 2022, and right at that point of time, I could definitely see that Shaheen Shah Afridi is not. In fact, he did not even play the T20 World Cup. Please excuse me, pardon me for that. But the kind of bowler that we remember Shaheen Shah Afridi was. It was in the World Cup of 2021, T20 World Cup of 2021, in which that famous match, historically, Pakistan broke that losing streak from India and they defeated India in Dubai. That 152 for no loss. That was where Shaheen Shah Afridi, that is the bowler that the world has that same image of Shaheen Shah Afridi in their minds. And they think that this is a guy who can bowl 150 kilometers per hour. The commentators are saying, hey Shaheen, get that 150 in the block. He just does not have the capability to do that, man. He does not have the capability to do that after his injury. He's not the same bowler anymore. And I don't know when he's going to be back in rhythm and he's going to get that pace back. He just won't be able to do it. Either this or marriage has certainly taken a toll on this kid's mind. And Haris Rauf and Wasim definitely have the kind, they do have pace. They can do 140 plus. But what happened to their line and length? What happened to the capability of these fast bowlers of Pakistan to bowl Yorkers at will? They were dubbed by almost everyone in the press, in the media, all over the world, that Pakistani bowlers, the Yorkers from Pakistani bowlers are actually Yorkers from hell. Now, where are those Yorkers from hell? Where are those Yorkers? No, this is as much timid bowling attack that Pakistan has, as much as a timid batting lineup that we have. This Pakistan team, this entire contingent unit of Pakistan cricket team in its entirety is timid. It was bound to lose. I would want to do a bit of a technical analysis over here because I would love to do that. But I would just want to comment, this is just to summarize my thoughts as Pakistan has exited from the World Cup of 2023, which has given me a lot of pain. As I've already mentioned, that as a passionate Pakistan cricket fan, I had at least hoped that, fine, I already knew that Pakistan is not going to qualify for the semi-finals, as I've already mentioned. It's okay, they're not going to do that. A team playing so miserably in the World Cup like this is definitely not going to go into the last four. The teams going into the last four are the top four teams of the world, remember that. Last time around in 2019, Pakistan played it till the last game. It was the game in the 2019 World Cup, the last match that Pakistan had with Bangladesh, before which it was evident that, okay, New Zealand is now going to go through, and an impossible criteria or target had been given to Pakistan that you need to accomplish this. Pakistan need to bowl Bangladesh out within this score. I think it was around 50 or 60 runs, and if Bangladesh bat first and they make 50 or 60 runs, they're through. New Zealand is through. So it was impossible for Pakistan to bowl Bangladesh out on 50 or 60 or 65 runs. It's not possible. It's not possible. So Pakistan did not have a chance, but at least it did broil down to the last game. If you go back one World Cup earlier, 2015, it was the quarterfinal that Pakistan was exited. Pakistan exited from the World Cup of 2015 after losing the quarterfinal from Australia. And 2011, Pakistan played the semi-final of the World Cup, and Pakistan lost from India in the semi-final. And 2007 and 3, I really do not want to comment on Pakistan's performance in the World Cups of 2003 and 7, because then, of course, that was like a very different kind of a time. And then before 2003, 2003 and 7, these World Cups were full of conspiracies. Although Pakistan had quality sides in both of these World Cups. Yes, they did. But there was a lot of politics involved. There was a lot of conspiracy involved. Once again, when there's too much hue and cry, too much of, a cloud of hue and cry that is created around any team, any cricket team in the world, it always ends up being overrated. And this happened with Australia in the 1992 World Cup. They realized it, and they bounced back and improved their game after the World Cup. And they started to gradually become the best team of the world, replacing the West Indies. In the mid-90s, Australia was the best team in the world. And then, of course, they reached the final in 1996, final in 1999, won that, and then, that unprecedented, that merciless offense of the 2000s, from 1999 all the way till 2000, 2007, 2008. 8 to 9 straight years, Australia was a dominant force of cricket, just like the West Indies were in the 1980s. Throughout the 1980s and early 90s as well, West Indies was the team that dominated world cricket. Australia did that between 1999 and 2007 and 8. And after that, it was like a mix of a few other teams, maybe South Africa, maybe India, and Now I would say that it's, this World Cup is definitely going to decide which team is the best team in the world. But, Pakistan, I had thought that maybe, of course, they are not going to qualify for the semi-finals. At least after losing today's game as a do or die, this was literally a do or die, it was perhaps a bit too early. It was perhaps a bit too early for a team like Pakistan to be exited from the World Cup. So I thought that maybe if my team, these boys that are playing, Babar Azam, the captain, he would perhaps have a bit of a sense of realization. Our own cricketing experts and legendary ex-cricketers saying that, Pakistan, whenever it's cornered, it would roar back. After seeing some of the delightful moments in this match that took place between Pakistan and South Africa, the way South Africa kind of choked, and there was a moment in which it was seeming like as if South Africa is heading towards a loss. But no, they didn't choke this time. Let me tell you, South Africa did choke. But Pakistan was timid. With these bowlers who do not even know how to bowl in the block hole, who will bowl wides at critical points, a captain who is going to allow singles to take place at such a critical point when there are 21 runs required of 50 balls, when all you need to do is stop the singles and tempt the batsman to go over to those peculiar points and hit. Try to go big, try to go for the big shots, even if there's a huge difference between the number of runs required. There are 21 and balls so many, no problem, but you do need a wicket at that point. You need to bring the players up close. This is what Babar Azam again today failed to do. Bad decision making. The single one person responsible for Pakistan's bad performance in this World Cup is Babar Azam, as I've already mentioned. Technical analysis is definitely going to come in my next video, because this video is long enough right now and I do not want to waste much time with my audience over here. If my video goes long, YouTube algorithm definitely punishes me. And my YouTube channel is already quite small. So anybody who's listening to me, thank you very much. I gotta go. Too bad for us. Too bad for us. Too bad for Pakistan. So sad.